Good night, good night. What do you guys want to look at here real quick? Some Goku, some more Goku, some Demon Slayer. We're just doing Goku, right? All right, so I don't know, I was replaying something in my head that happened to my nephew years back, or like just something I had to do as a guardian, and in terms of like protecting him, and really and then it popped in my head in terms of just labeling it, naming it, so on and so forth, labeling it as sometimes you need to blame the victim. So the situation was, I won't go too far into it, but my nephew, love you, Chucky. But let's do this. Sorry for the noise. Yeah, so he had a friend, and that friend, for whatever reason, like it was like the second time he had gotten in trouble with this friend, and then something happened, and he came back, and then he admitted that he lied to me, and I was like, I know you did, and because the story just seemed off. Actually, no, I actually believed him. And I lied to him, and it's like, yeah, I know you lied. Because like I actually believed him, but he like came back because, one, either he felt bad or I beat him enough to where he understood that it'd be bad if I found out the truth. So either way, it worked. And he then I had to call the friend's mom, and or text her, I think, and I said, hey, listen, I think it's best that my nephew doesn't hang out with your son anymore, just because of what they're getting into. I don't know who did what, but they're not really good for each other. They're enablers. So the way it was like framed or kind of like discussed or talked about is that my nephew was following this kid, but you never know because kids lie, right? Like even to this day, he could be like, oh no, I never did that, right? And like I would believe him, but you just never really know. So sometimes you'll be in a situation, right? And this goes into just even in our adult lives, even with abusive relationships, sometimes you do have to blame the victim, because what happens is you start to follow that person. You start to always be around them. And that, even though they get their quote unquote a leader, and they may not act like they need you, they actually get a sense of validation, and it satisfies some type of urge or something in them that says, I need to do this again so that I can, quote unquote, maintain this position, feel good about what I'm doing, so on and so forth, right? And again, I'll wrap this around to abuse. But sometimes you do need to blame the victim, because even though in that situation, my nephew said like he was following the kid, he still made the choice, right? But by him following the kid, he enables that kid to keep on doing something like that. And it's like sometimes you do have to break people apart so that they don't keep doing shit like that. And, it might be like, well, now you're victim blaming. Yes, because some victims need to be blamed because they put themselves in situations where they're going to get hurt. They're going to do something bad. They're going to put themselves in a position or a place that they cannot get out of. They will need help, and that person that can help them will not be there or say, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I'm not putting up my house for your bail or your bond. That's just not happening. Like, for me, not happening. Kids, anybody, I don't care. I'm not putting up that money for your bond. Have fun in jail. I hope you got your, that's like the people, and again, not to totally equate this, but it's kind of like people where they, you always hear these drug dealers talk about it in the music, and they be like, listen, make sure you have your bond money, so on and so forth, money, blah, blah, blah. And then the guys that don't, you're sitting in there sometimes, 6 months to a year for a court date. And then, you get out. By that time, your life is destroyed because you just wanted to hit one quick lick. Like, bruh. I remember like the security guard, one of the security guards at my old high school, years later found out like he got caught up for like trying to make a deal on a key of coke or some shit like that. It's kind of crazy. Anyways, but if you don't put yourself in a position, or if you don't put yourself in a position and you don't put things in the right position or place so that you can actually grab them whenever needed, like, hey, listen, all I need you to do is go and get this account. or I need you to get this money out of this account, or dig this up out of the backyard, at these coordinates or some shit, or there's a map under my bed, some shit like that. But what the scenario back with my nephew was that when that happened, I was like, listen, I don't know, like it's like trust but verify. Like, I believe you, but then you all also just came back and told me that you lied to me. So then it's just like, damn, now I doubt what you're doing. Now I doubt that you were the person following. You could have been the leader. And that's a problem. Because now we have to look at it like, okay, if this person's the leader, then I have to understand that, there's something even deeper going on, right? So it's best that these people stay apart from one another. Now, bring it into relationships, and it's just that scenario to lay the groundwork, so to speak. But bringing it to relationships and even the Black community and so on and so forth. Right now, we're going through where we are blaming the victim. We're looking at, we're looking at the people that are causing single motherhood, or we're looking at women that are causing single motherhood, single parent households. We're looking at, even the men that are doing the wrong things and actually wrecking their own families, and the women, of course, that are on the other side of that as well, doing the same thing. But then we get into things like abuse, right? Where people say, hey, listen, this person was a victim. I'm sure they didn't want to get beat up or hurt or anything else like that. Cool. You need to leave. Well, it's not that easy. Okay. Is it easy to get punched in the fucking face? Well, you don't know, people come up with all these excuses and like scenarios where it's like the victim is never to blame. When in actuality, like if somebody punches me in my face or fucks with me, I'm not going to be around that person, or I'm going to punch them back at the very least. There's going to be some action that is going to separate me from that person. And sometimes it may need to be another person that's there that's taking me off of them or taking them off of me. Because if they whoop my ass and I'm on the ground, I'm sorry, I'm not going to get whooped twice. And that doesn't mean I'm going to retaliate. That means I'm going to be like, listen, I'm not going to be around that nigga because the last time I was around that motherfucker, he whooped my ass. Or she stabbed me, or she put me in this situation. Actually, another good scenario is Pink Book Lessons did a video about this guy who, he had previously, I think, gotten stabbed or threatened with a knife. Then he had gotten stabbed. He had his kid call the police. The police came up there. She had the knife, but then they thought he was threatening her, and they shot him and killed him. Listen, he was the victim in that. I still blame him. He has some blame. Not on some he has a little bit of blame. No, I'm not trying to go for a little bit of blame. If this bitch did that shit to you before, nigga, leave. Get the fuck out. Don't be there. Don't be around it. And that's a man who is the victim. And this is the thing that we have in this in the community as a whole, is that we need to start looking at the victim more and more. And we've already done this for sure. But we need to start looking at the victim more and more and saying, hey, listen, I understand, you put yourself in this position, or I understand that you're in this position. You may not want to be here, or you want to, do good by another person or be with another person, and you love them so much. But this is a very toxic situation, and it's not healthy for you. But nothing. I feel you. It is what it is, but you're gonna have to leave this person. I don't listen, I don't know what to tell you, man, but yeah, this is not gonna work out well for you. Just not at all. And people would poo-poo some idea like that, where they're like, oh, you're victim blaming. And I understand that. That's cool. But this person is putting himself in a situation where if it's like your family member and you're looking at them, it could have gotten worse for my nephew. It could have led to a whole, a life of crime. No, it could have just led to a suspension or something else. Actually, no, I think he did get suspended. I forgot what it was. But it could have led to something even worse. And that's the problem. That when it leads to these other things, and then now we're farther down the road, we've kicked the can so far, then we ran into a wall, and that can cannot go anywhere further. Shut up. Sorry. That can can't go any further. there is no, I can just throw it in the trash can or get it out of my way. No, you should have dealt with it when you were closer to other trash cans or what have you, and dumped the situation. And some people don't understand that, and some people don't want to do it. You need to handle situations when they come up. And sometimes you have to look at the person, even if it's yourself, that put yourself in that situation. Oh my God, I drunk drive to, numb the pain. And, it's because I was molested and touched as a child. Yeah, I feel you, but you just killed these two adults. And now one of the kids is paralyzed and the other one is, is just badly injured. And they don't have parents. Because, you just kept kicking the can down the road, or you didn't do what was necessary to get away from a situation. Or not be in a situation such as, drinking while driving. You need to go ahead and, deal with those feelings and that trauma, so to speak. And this is what a lot of men have been saying, or we've been saying in this space, is that, you ladies need to deal with this trauma. I understand that you had this trauma. There's issues and things like that. That's great. But we're adults now. We can self-medicate, or we can not self-medicate, but we can actually go ahead and take ourselves to a physician or to a therapist or to anybody else to actually get the help that we need to heal and cure ourselves. As a kid, it's a different story. But as an adult, no. You need to handle that. And more men are saying, listen, I understand you have issues. No problem. I'm out of here, though. It is what it is. Cool. I'm out of here, though. All right. Well, with that being said, I got to eat and then get some reading and some other stuff done. Talk to y'all later. Peace. Love you.